Two teams, two conferences. It's a road game for the Bulls in this one. We've got some terrific NBA action in store for you today. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. So the Timberwolves win the tip. Towns, the pass to Dang. Rubio outside. The feed to Jang. Down low. And the dunk by Towns.
Not sure how he gets that pass off. I thought for sure he was going to pull the trigger.
Last season, the Bulls were a tough matchup, solid margin of victory for them, and never looked overwhelmed, Clark.
Yeah, you know what? They're a team that's even-keeled, the type of team that can win anytime they take the floor. They have a system that works and good talent, actually excellent talent to make it special, and that combination is a winning one.
Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Gibson is the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. And it's Dunleavy in the 3. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And you talk about the Bulls being able to beat anybody in the league. They did. They did that last season. One of only 3 teams to register 1 win against every other team in the league back in 2015.
Second free throw, no good.
And, you know, getting back to that point about the Bulls beating every team in the league, only the Spurs and Warriors were the other teams to do that. Goes to show just how tough last year's Bulls squad was.
Now, here's Rubio. Shot clock at 5. And the pass to Towns. Gibson with the steal.
That was really a gift there. A nice steal, but probably a pass that shouldn't have been made in the first place.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And, Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark.
Oh, yeah! Beautiful. He has a highlight reel unto himself, guys.
Yeah,
wow.
That could very well be a contender for Dunk of the Year and perhaps might make its way all over the internet.
I'll tell you what, that is the crowd pleaser of all crowd pleasers.
Here's Levine, and he goes in for the dunk.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And, Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Here's Rose. No good. So Minnesota will take it the other way. Dunleavy for 3. Gasol dishes to Rose. Feeds it to Butler. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. And it's 9 points for Butler.
Not the biggest fan of that shot, but he had the space to get it off, so why not?
I like his tenacity getting to the basket there, even though the dunk rattled out. 99 times out of 100, you'll get the dunk or the foul.
Minnesota really had a rough year last season. A lot of people know that, obviously. A lot to do with their defense. They just, Greg, struggled in almost every defensive metric.
Yeah, and, you know, they struggled at times guarding the basketball, but ultimately I think the biggest issue for them was their inability to protect the rim. That's an area and a point of emphasis that has to improve for this young team.
So it's Minnesota now. The Bulls getting the bucket.
I tell you what, you better watch out, fellas. He is on fire here today.
Bulls made the postseason for the 10th time in their last 11 seasons. Last year, they have become a fixture, Greg, in the playoffs in the East.
And how about last season, Kevin, had that interdivision matchup in their first round against the up-and-coming Bucks. Some hiccups for them in that series, but they were able to prevail.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
Boy, in that playoff series against the Bucks, the Bulls looked like they were primed for an upset as they started slowly, eventually pulled it together, and came in as the underdogs against the Cavs.
So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Joakim Noah's checked in for Gasol. Mirotic comes in for Taj Gibson. Doug McDermott, he's checked in for Mike Dunleavy. And it's Brooks in for Derrick Rose. Here's Wiggins. After Chicago picking up a basket just moments ago. Jang. And he overshot that one, missing.
And the Cavs knocked out the Bulls in 6 games. Bulls went up 2-1 in the series, but didn't have an answer for LeBron. Strong effort from the Bulls, though, but they just couldn't match the firepower of the Cavs.
And Towns gets it to go.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
And, you know, it doesn't matter how good your defense is on the perimeter if you're going to allow easy ones inside like that.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
The last 5 trips they've had have ended with a great pass leading to a basket. They're really sharing the sugar.
And that one's good. Wiggins has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
He's got so much junk in his trunk. He'll find a way to hurt you.
And Zach LaVine gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game. Ejuan Moore is checked in for Butler. And the call will be against Joakim Noah. That is his first foul of the game. And Garnett misses.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
And Muhammad gets it to go.
Got it! He got it! Just in time.
The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Bulls lead by 5. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. All right, well, a look at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for Chicago.
And so far, these guys have done a fantastic job finding the opening man and getting some easy baskets.
Well, another thing that's immediately gone right for them is their three-point shooting.
Chicago leading by 5. It's now been a decade since the Minnesota Timberwolves played postseason basketball. Last trip to the postseason for the Wolves back in 2004.
Wow, that was a long time ago. And if you're wondering, that is the longest playoff drought in the league currently. Wolves want nothing more than to get back to playing playoff basketball, and featuring the #1 pick in last year's draft will help.
Good way to start, you're right. So for Chicago right now, Dunleavy is up there with Portis. Then there's Ejuan Moore. Then it's Rose. And it's Gasol at the center, filling out the middle. Jones drives in. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. They get Paul Gasol.
And, you know, even though the Wolves have been out of the playoffs so long, you get the sense it won't be too much longer. They've got a really nice core to build around, and I think could be special, especially Andrew Wiggins.
And as you mentioned, the Wolves could be back in the playoffs in due time. They are headed in the right direction. Some mistakes have been made along the way, but you have to like their future now.
Clock at 6. Here's Portis. Poked away.
And, you know, coaches just love players who they can count on to give that effort defensively.
And he clearly is one of those guys, Greg. We saw it right there. Nice work forcing that miss.
Rose can't hit.
Well, he won't miss many of those. especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
And that one's good. Jones has got 4 this quarter.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Textbook. Really, when you look at how they're playing, they are having their way down low. Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But boy, that was a nice job. And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end. That's losing basketball.
Especially when you can't afford to give up any buckets. That's a nice lead now. I tell you what, he has quite the act to follow, but Fred Hoiberg was a quick choice for the Brass in Chicago. Signed that 5-year deal over the summer. Was easily one of the most in-demand coaches available.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Chicago. Jimmy Butler comes in for E'Twaun Moore.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you could hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
Well, Greg, for Hoiberg, it's his first job as an NBA head coach. Now, we know he played. He's been a part of an NBA front office. Clarkie came from Iowa State, where he honed his coaching skills and was highly respected.
Yeah, very much respected, particularly as an offensive coach. And we know the Bulls are pretty solid defensively, and he'll be looking to ramp up that offensive approach for that team, and I think he will.
For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with his GM and president. With how often their differences came up, though, you knew something was afoot.
Rose against Garnett. Rose goes in. A rebound by the Timberwolves.
Not really the best decision. I mean, get the easy 2, the for sure 2. No need to make it fancy and special.
And with Thibs, he did end up getting fired from the Bulls this past season. Some saw it coming, but still, I think surprising given the level of success he had. His imprint is all over this Bulls team in the way they approach the game.
Here's Prince.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for him.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
And when you look at how Thibs got fired, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why a coach can be let go. I mean, he didn't have any performance issues, but apparently clashed in some form or fashion with the front office. Sometimes that's all it takes to be asked to go somewhere else.
Changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Gasol. Mirotic comes in for Dunleavy. And Brooks subbed in for Derrick Rose. The Bulls have gone 3 of 7 shooting the ball here in the second quarter. And Jones over to help. Pulls up, high post. Does not find the mark. He's made 2 and missed 1 now.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The battle to a stand.
Jam! I mean, just beautiful.
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, you know, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
I'm startled that he would even try something like that at this stage of the game. Quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for the... That's not as easy as he made it look, guys. You've got to have some skills to pull that baby off.
Well, he's got plenty of those skills necessary.
And you know what? That man can climb a ladder.
The Timberwolves have yet to miss from the free throw line. They're 3 for 3. No good on the free throws.
And working, Kevin, themselves to the line here in the second. A nice way to get your offense going.
And maybe cause some foul trouble along the way as well. And we know what that can do. It pays off typically in good fashion for you.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Jang, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. Wiggins comes in for Tayshaun Prince. Levine's checked in for Shabazz Muhammad. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Jones. Noah kicks to McDermott. From deep, Brooks. It's rebounded by Kevin Garnett. The Timberwolves have gone 6 of 9 in the second quarter. Some good work from the field. They grabbed their own miss.
You know, fought hard from start to finish on that play. Defended the shot and then finished it off with the rebound.
Snatched up.
Outstanding perimeter defense there. That was a well-contested shot.
Yeah, and you know he takes a lot of pride in his defense. There are no easy threes if he's on you.
Brooks for 3. Brooks can't get that one to fall. Here's Levine. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
And he beats the buzzer.
And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on here. Timberwolves ahead. They lead by 1. And we'll be back for the second half following the break. Keep it right here on 2K Sports. And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. We are seeing a tremendous game from Jimmy Butler.
And the defense was soft in that first half, and he took advantage every chance he could. And boy, was he throwing it down hard.
Yes, sir. He has had too many uncontested runs to the hoop. But even if a defender's gotten there, it's been posterized time.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. We are seeing a tremendous game from Jimmy Butler.
And the thing I noticed most in that first half was his offense. He was not wasteful with his opportunities and also did a great job of converting with the chances he had.
I agree with you, Greg. Judicious shot selection. All of his looks were good looks.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. So on the floor for Minnesota, Rubio and Levine teaming up in the backcourt. Wiggins outside at the 3 with Anthony Towns at the 4. And it's Jang in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Oh!
Man, he got fancy with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe trying to give them the momentum boost they need to break this game open.
I tell you what, I like that, though, guys. Some coaches might not want you to make a play like that. But I tell you what, when you got the skills like that, I say go for it.
And for those of you turning in, we're about a minute into the second half. And there's the foul. It'll go on Aaron Brooks. That is his first foul of the game. Here's Levine. He has 6. Towns. 5 on the clock. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And, Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
And those are the kind of sequences that tell you why the score is what it is.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
And last season, really a tale of two halves for the Wolves. When Ricky Rubio returned from injury, they just looked so much more in sync as a team.
Bulls trailed by 5. Well, the Wolves improved just very slightly last year in terms of wins, Clark. The quality of play on the floor, though, was visible.
Yeah, and the team's point differential was a lot better with Rubio in the lineup. They did have some big wins over quality teams, and Rubio's impact was certainly noticeable. Tags a few more points onto their lead with the tomahawk.
That's bringing it down hard, Clark.
Yes,
bring it down hard,
yes,
my brother.
Yes,
Symbolic there as well of the effort here tonight.
Chicago calls timeout.
And a lot of teams in the West can at least get a little bit of a breather when they go against the Eastern teams. The Wolves didn't have that last year. They got pummeled by the entire conference.
So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Pau Gasol, he's checked in for Noah. Dunleavy comes in for Doug McDermott. Butler, he's checked in for Ejuan Moore. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Aaron Brooks. Greg, as you said, with the Wolves, they had as hard a time with the East as anyone. Only managed a 9-21 record, Clark, out of conference.
And those 9 wins were the fewest against the East for any team in the NBA. Not a surprise given how badly the Wolves struggled in general.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And no doubt last season the Bulls were clearly preparing for the playoffs. They played their rookies but added a lot of playoff seasoned veterans to that roster.
As you mentioned, the Bulls added veteran leaders last season. Pau Gasol was the notable one. 11 Bulls, Clark, had playoff experience prior to their postseason run a season ago.
And that's invaluable, Kevin, to have that kind of experience. I mean, having Gasol, 2-time champion in the locker room, big, as is having almost a dozen guys who understand the intensity and the details that playoff basketball requires.
Really, the right play defensively. If you can't block, force them to the line.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent the layup, give them a little bump, and then maybe they'll think twice about coming into the lane next time. And if they don't think about it, at least they might be distracted by your presence. Well, as far as the league's big men go, he's one of the very best at the foul line.
And Dunleavy gets it to go in.
Oof, that is a tough shot.
Jones with it. And Rose picks him up defensively. Jones kicks to Garnett. 16 feet away. And the bank shot is good. Garnett's got 5 points so far.
Yeah, it's just a smart shot, taking advantage of the mismatch.
Well, with a stroke like that and the height advantage as well, the mid-range J is almost a gimme.
Kept alive. Outside Rose. The 3. And finished off by Gasol.
And, guys, isn't it great to see a player who works that hard on the glass at both ends?
Well said, G. That's the way he has built, his reputation. Clark grinding away, 100% effort all the time.
And, Kevin, all that effort pays off. How many of those spectacular putback jams do we see from this guy? A bunch.
And that one's good. Pekovic.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
For three, Dunleavy. And he gets it to go. Dunleavy's got 5 points now this quarter.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
Jones kicks to Garnett. Great D that time from Gibson. Bulls trail by 3.
I like the move to go 2 for 1 here.
So do I, Greg. I mean, I agree with you. They need to get a quick look and then try to get another possession after that.
Butler on the wing. Guarded by Prince. Butler passes to Rose. To tie. The shot's good on the assist by Butler.
Derek.
Rose has got it all tied up now for the Bulls. Rose against Jones. Pekovic dishes to Prince. It's deflected. It's stolen by Dunleavy. And here we go, the Bulls fast break. And they take the lead. 22 points for Butler.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
And the game still closely contested as we end the third quarter. Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. Minnesota with the ball. So for Chicago right now, Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Pau Gasol is out there with Mirotic, and it's McDermott in the 3 slot.
Yeah, a bit over eager right there. Left his feet too early.
Yeah, and if you're already boxed out like he was, just back up. Because if you don't, you're going to get called for the over-the-back foul every time.
Rose goes in. Back to Mirotic. 6 on the shot clock. This one for 3. Rose with another miss.
His shot's just, it's not there right now. With this team leading, perhaps, you know, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
Prince against Mirotic. Prince kicks to Garnett. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. In transition, here come the Bulls. Here's Butler. And he bangs it home with one hand.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
That's good.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
They get it back. Muhammad with the steal. The finish. And there's the shot dunk to finish it off.
I don't know that this is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is the 2 points, not the dramatics.
Oh, come on, Clark. He had to go for it, didn't he?
Yeah, but hey. He's an athlete, and I can't fault him for that one. Although, if he missed it, I might have.
Prince kicks to Muhammad to take the lead. And a clear foul there as he shot the triple. He'll go to the line for 3 free throws. It's going to go on Nikola Mirotic. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Jang, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. Towns comes in for Kevin Garnett. Andrew Wiggins checked in for Tayshaun Prince. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Jones. Joakim Noah's checked in for Chicago. Justin Holiday comes in for McDermott. And there's the call on Shabazz Muhammad. That's foul number 2 for him. Minnesota making a switch. Levine's checked in.
And they have haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
Yeah, still close, but with their tough play on the boards, we're certainly seeing the effort.
Timberwolves have gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. Wiggins kicks to Zhang, and he takes the feed in stride and slams it home.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
And Rubio kicks to Levine. Back to Rubio. Dishes it to Levine. Shot clock at 6. And he dunks it down.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he picks the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and in a close game, though, guys, those could be really important points.
Chicago calls timeout.
Yeah, can't be pleased with all these easy looks they continue to give up there in the paint.
No, I'm sure he's not, Greg. I mean, their defense is showing a lot of holes, especially down low. That's unacceptable.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what the head coach of the Chicago Bulls was going over in his huddle. He told the squad, now is the time when we turn it on and leave them in the rear view mirror. It won't be easy, but guys, I know we can put them away. Let's see if they can deliver, Kevin.
And tired legs affect you at the defensive end first, and that's what we're seeing here.
You called it, Greg. As much offense as we saw early, we're seeing even more of it here late.
It's deflected, and so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here. 1:25 left in the game. To the inside. 6 to shoot. Here's Towns. And it's Dunleavy with the rebound. Dunleavy's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. That's tipped. It's stolen by Dunleavy. The drive by Noah. Towns with the steal. Here's Wiggins.
Clutch shot right there. That could be the difference maker.
Indeed, it might be a big, huge moment in this game right there.
Chicago calls timeout. They're losing by 4. There's 57 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Noah with it. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Rose. Misses the layup.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole because he is just not there offensively.
Wow, we're going to remember that one for a while.
I know I will, Kevin. That was special.
My goodness, that was almost a circus-like dunk.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Zhang, no luck.
No time to spare. They need a bucket.
Without question. Then maybe a steal or a foul to get the clock stopped as well.
Dunleavy's shot is off. Here's Minnesota. They're on a 17-7 run.
Wow, that is just pretty right there. What a find for his teammate at the rim.